My name's Justin. I'm 32 and I run my own business. Today, I'm out with my wife, Lily, visiting an open house for a newly built condominium complex. Wow. A brand new condo complex, huh? I heard there are 3 different model units, each with a unique concept.
I wonder what the concepts are. It's exciting, isn't it?
Definitely. The person I spoke with when we booked our visit was so pleasant it made me look forward to it even more. We were buzzing with anticipation as we headed to the property. The area, recently revitalized, was becoming increasingly popular, and quite a crowd had gathered for the open house. Excuse me, we had an appointment for the open house? We approached a sales representative standing by the condo. When we spoke from behind, he turned around with a pleased look on his face. But then, "You two are here for the tour?" The salesman frowned in an instant and stared at us, the couple, rudely. We weren't dressed inappropriately or anything. He sighed heavily and jerked his head toward the entrance.
"Please, go this way."
"Thank you." We were a bit taken aback by his strange behavior, but with the presentation time closing in, we made our way to the venue.
"Oh, this room is so cute. I liked the classy one we saw earlier, but I love bright colors, so maybe this one is more my style."
By the time we were exploring the model units, Lily and I had forgotten all about the sales rep and were completely absorbed in evaluating the rooms. The windows are large, which gives a sense of openness, and the view isn't half bad, right? It might be a big plus.
As for the layout, well, this type would provide plenty of storage, even if we have a lot of stuff. Doesn't that sound good?
After we'd looked around all the rooms, we settled down at one of the provided tables and started looking through the brochures, discussing our impressions. At that moment, the same sales rep from before brought some refreshments and started serving them to each table. "Thank you for coming by today. How was everything? If you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask me. My name is Brown." In stark contrast to his attitude at the entrance, he was smiling and making polite conversation at each table. However, he breezed past our table with a pause and without leaving any refreshments for us.
Huh?
Lily and I just stared, dumbfounded. Eventually, after he had finished serving everyone else, he glanced our way and seemed to smirk before moving on.
"Hey, that guy,"
Lily whispered to me, furrowing her brows. "You mean the one who was so rude to us at the entrance?"
"Yeah, that's him."
We never did receive our drinks or the extra information we'd asked for. The excitement we'd felt had completely vanished, replaced by a sour mood.
"I thought the ad looked promising."
Lily looked disappointed. As we were getting ready to leave, we heard Brown's voice. Apparently, he thought he was alone. "Man, that clueless couple today was a real pain. They're so out of touch with their own status, it's just sad." "No kidding." Brown shook his head. "I saw from a distance they parked their car in the coin-operated lot. They rolled up in a tiny compact car. Never thought they were here for the tour. They looked so plain and broke. They should know their place." Lily and I looked at each other. It seemed like Brown was talking about us. Indeed, we had arrived at the venue in our compact car. Compared to those decked out in designer wear we spotted at the viewing, our attire may have seemed modest. Why should I waste my valuable time on folks like that? I ignored them. They were dumbfounded. Ha ha. Mr. Brown, isn't that not quite right? From now on, let me handle the refreshments and materials." The one to argue with the abrasively laughing Mr. Brown was apparently his junior colleague. Shut up, Johnson. Don't be presumptuous as a newbie. I am the one who will be managing the contracts. You wouldn't dare undermine me for the incentive, would you?
No. No, I didn't mean to.
In response to the harshly spoken Mr. Brown, the junior named Johnson closed his mouth, looking distressed. From the following exchanges, it became apparent that the one taking care of all the preparations was Johnson, while Mr. Brown was cherry-picking the good parts of customer service.
It kind of ruined my mood.
On the way home, Lily let out a sigh.
Since we remember these things, let's pass on this apartment today. It's a shame because the show suite was so nice. But it just doesn't feel right.
I agree. If we proceed with this, we will likely have to face Mr. Brown again, and given what happened today, I can see where this is going. We decided to look into other properties after discussing it. 2 weeks later...
Justin, what do you think about this property?
Lily said, pointing at the PC screen.
It's a bit over budget, but I'd like to go and see it.
Only a few units left, huh? You're weak for these marketing phrases, Lily. You always end up buying things that say limited edition, even sweets. As I teased her, she laughed and said,
Don't compare it to sweets.
And we quickly clicked on the button to book a viewing. However, the day of the viewing brought back the nightmare. It happened when we arrived at the venue and tried to get the documents.
You gotta be kidding. Give me a break.
A slight tongue click and a familiar voice rang out. When we turned towards the sound, there was Mr. Brown, who had badmouthed us at the show suite viewing the other day. We didn't expect to see him again so soon. And upon closer inspection, the person we had asked for the documents was none other than Johnson, the junior colleague. I involuntarily pulled my hand back from taking the documents, but Johnson, who seemed to not remember us, looked puzzled. Then, Mr. Brown interjected.
Excuse me, what is your profession?
His rude question irked me, but I decided to see how he'd react first. I'm self-employed.
Huh?
Upon hearing my answer, Mr. Brown didn't even bother to hide his mocking expression.
This place is out of your league. It's a waste to even show the last unit on the top floor to people like you, got it?
Mr. Brown, with the feeling that we should go home quickly, started to turn us away. At his behavior, I was the one to say, "What?" this time. Then Mr. Brown showed a smirking smile.
Don't get it? It means no, poor folks. Understand?
Sir, please stop it. I'm very sorry. Here are the documents.
Johnson, stop messing around and don't increase our workload.
Johnson's attempt to intervene was ignored as Mr. Brown took the documents from him.
Are you saying we should choose our customers? I'm not convinced.
Lily couldn't help but confront Mr. Brown, but he didn't seem to care at all.
Yep, this is a luxury apartment building where high society resides. We decline entrance to the poor.
He clearly was implying that they should leave. I couldn't keep quiet and spoke up. I highly doubt you have been given the responsibility to screen the potential buyers. Could you please call your superior? But Mr. Brown just shrugged it off.
I can't do anything about what you're saying. Like I told you, this property is designed for the affluent upper class. It's not something people like you can afford.
His statement was shocking. Mr. Brown, that's rude to the customers. Please stop. I'm very sorry. A flustered Johnson tried to mediate, but I cut him off. So we, as a couple, are denied the viewing, right? Mr. Brown then smiled triumphantly.
Exactly,
he said in an arrogant tone, gesturing us towards the exit.
I wouldn't even do it as a favor.
Lily, who had been silent next to me, finally lost her temper, and we left the venue indignantly. What? Wait, please. After we walked some distance, we were stopped by Johnson, who had run after us. I'm truly sorry. Even though my apologies might not fix anything, I'm really, really sorry for the terrible rudeness. I don't know how to make it up to you. Johnson, you should go back. I'm sorry. I must have upset you more by chasing after you. I shook my head as Johnson apologized with sweat dripping down his face. I can see you're a sincere person. Thanks for your concern, but we'll be heading home now. You should go back too, or Mr. Brown will be mad. Don't worry about us anymore. But... Looking back at the way we had come, Johnson bowed deeply to us again.
Listen, Johnson, we're not really mad. It's okay. We're angry at Mr. Brown, and after such a bad experience, we probably wouldn't feel like buying the place even if we saw it. So, we're going home. But we haven't given up on finding a property.
Lily smiled and said,
I don't want to see Mr. Brown again, and I definitely don't want to buy a place from someone like him, but if we get another chance, I'd like you to be in charge. Can you do that?
Yes, of course. I'll make sure to show you our best property. We were smiling as we watched Johnson bow politely. Then, we received Johnson's business card again and promised to call him when we're ready to see the other properties. While we were handing over our contact details to him, the disgruntled footsteps of Mr. Brown echoed.
Johnson, where did you put the contract documents? Jeez, you're never around me when I need you. What are you doing? Don't embarrass me.
As he yelled, Mr. Brown noticed us and with an exasperated look nudged Johnson.
Stop doing useless things. Don't waste your time with these poor folks. There's no gain, not even a cent, or should I say a penny. Now hurry up and get those documents, got it?
With that said, Mr. Brown grabbed Mr. Johnson by the scruff of his neck, struggling, and started to backtrack the way he came. Hey, quit the rough stuff. Upon raising my voice with conviction, Brown let out a snort of laughter.
Are you still there, poor man? Ah, is that you? You don't like being told that you don't have time to be poor, so you're pretending to be free? Go home early and work hard.
He waved his hand as if shooing us away and started to drag Johnson away.
Hey, Justin, I'm about to reach my boiling point.
Me too. While watching Lily clench her fist, I wholeheartedly agreed. About an hour later, during the drive home in my favorite compact car, when a call came in on my smartphone, I asked Lily to answer it. From the phone, now on speaker, came a pleading voice.
Sorry, can you come back right away?
The voice had changed, almost like a different person, but it seemed to be that of Brown.
What can we help you with?
When Lily asked, a hurried reply came.
There's something I want to tell you.
We don't want to go back to you. What do you want to say? You can tell us over the phone.
You sound so haughty. No, nothing. Can you please calm down?
As Lily coldly brushed him off, there was a hint of anger in Brown's voice again, but for some reason, it quickly returned to a flattering tone. However, Lily showed no mercy.
Well, remember how you said we wouldn't gain even a penny by dealing with you? This call is a waste, so goodbye.
But wait.
Ignoring Brown's attempt to stop her, Lily hung up the call, and when the phone rang again, she turned it off, deciding it was too much of a hassle.
By the way, how much is a penny worth right now?
At Lily's serious question, I couldn't help but laugh. I think it's about 0.03 cents in Colombian pesos.
0.03 cents, huh? Do you know a place with a lower rate?
If it's Indonesian rupiah, I think it was about 0.009 cents. Then Lily started imitating Brown.
Not even a penny to gain by dealing with the likes of us, or rather, not even a rupiah.
Hey, do I sound like him? Who's smarter?
Both are kinda so-so.
You're mean, Justin.
And so we chatted away, enjoying a quick lunch before returning home. Then we spotted a figure in front of a certain garage. Hey, Justin, sorry for the trouble of coming back with your car. Robert, that's fine, but you brought them both here? We had no idea this was going to happen, and we're having a meal. Sorry, did we keep you waiting for too long? No, not at all. I'm the one who should be apologizing here. Hey, don't just stand there like a lump. What? The one being threatened and shaking with fear was Brown, who had called us poor. Next to him, Johnson looked bewildered. Feeling sorry for him, I decided to reassure Johnson by revealing the truth. Johnson, relax, it's okay. Robert, the vice president of his company, and I are college buddies. Eh? Not only Johnson, but also Brown opened their eyes wide in surprise. Actually, Justin and I were attending the open house at the request of Robert. Oh, but we were really looking for a property. Who could have thought that things would turn out like this? I confessed. Johnson looked flustered while Brown looked at us in disbelief, as if to ask what we meant. We had asked Justin to dress casually for the viewing. We even arranged for him to use the small car we had prepared. Otherwise, well, look over there. The car in front of our garage is Justin's real vehicle. He's a well-known young investor around town. Brown, you can tell just by looking at that car you couldn't afford it even if you stood on your head, right?
Yes, I apologize.
Brown appeared to be trembling, likely severely chastised by the time we returned. A few months ago, we started receiving complaints at the corporate office. People said they felt looked down upon by salespeople when they went for casual viewings. Everyone was saying the same thing, so I visited the site many times, but you acted polite in front of me, Brown. However, the features match you no matter how I think about it. I asked Justin to confirm once I left the site, and the result is this situation.
Mr. Vice President, could there be some kind of mistake?
Don't screw around. We have the recorded conversation. Do you want to deny it until I play it back, eh?
I apologize.
Brown tried to make excuses, but of course that wasn't going to work. He wilted under Robert's scathing words. You're apologizing to the wrong person.
I am really sorry.
Brown lowered his head as if he were trying to bury it into the ground. But if saying sorry would be enough, there would be no need for the police. Don't think this ends here. You'll take full responsibility. Brown shrank back even more, looking as if he were about to cry upon hearing Robert's muttered threat of damages.
I'm sorry. It really was all my fault, but, the compensation.
Brown approached me and Lily as if begging us to shelter him. Robert was the one to grab him by the scruff of his neck. "Don't you dare joke around. You assumed based on the appearance and labeled the other party as poor. It's a big mistake to think rich people flaunt their wealth. Do you know how many cancellations we received from high-profile clients due to your reckless behavior?" As Robert lectured him in a low voice, Brown grew smaller and smaller. "You ruined our company's reputation with your sales tactics. You can understand my anger, right?"
But please forgive me.
"No chance." Brown's eyes rolled back as he collapsed to the ground. It's been a while since I saw Robert lose his cool like this. It reminded me of our college days. Back then, Robert had stood up for me when I was bullied. He fought upperclassmen to protect me, getting beat up in the process. And once again, Robert saved not just me, but me and my wife, Lily. I owe him big time. I'll treat him to his favorite steak next time. A few days later, Robert invited us for another property viewing. Johnson, of course, was the one in charge, until a formal decision was made. Brown had received a pay cut and demotion, working as an office grunt. It seems only natural he's getting a tough time from everyone considering how he treated them before.
Yes, I'll clean the table right away. I'll get the documents. I'm sorry, I'll get them.
I could faintly hear the distinctly different voice of Mr. Brown from before. Later, Mr. Brown was sentenced to pay damages and was struggling to make repayments without his title or duties. Meanwhile, thanks to Mr. Johnson, we managed to acquire our ideal home. Moreover, due to Robert's consideration, we got it at a slightly discounted price. Mr. Johnson also seemed to be making great strides in his performance and was enjoying better treatment. Honesty is such an important thing in life, I thought to myself.